Here you go. I'm gonna give you just a quick tutorial on how to download and install VirtualBox. So of course, if you are on Windows, it's just go to the website, download, double click, install, and that's it. If you're on Linux, it might be a little bit more complicated. So we just launch Firefox. I'm gonna search for VirtualBox. So it's gonna lead me to the Oracle VirtualBox website. There's the main page. I'm gonna click download. Probably I'm gonna need for Linux distributions. So yes, you can find for Ubuntu, you can find for Debian, Oracle Linux, Fedora, OpenSUSE. So on my laptops I'm using Fedora. I need this distribution to download. On my PC here it's a Debian 12, so I'm gonna click over here to download. And if I used Linux Mint, I would also choose either Debian or Ubuntu, the latest. Normally they are kind of similar in case of the way to install them, and it's gonna be very, very similar to turn everything into the kernel. So first of all, I'm gonna open up just a text editor and gonna have check some hash copied over there. So I make sure, here you go, that what I'm downloading it's gonna be something unaltered and something original. Yeah, if I want I can double check with the MD5 sums as well, to make sure that everything is okay. Debian bookworm, so it's gonna be the same MD5 sum. There you go, puff puff. And then I'm gonna close it over here and download. Simply click on Debian 12. It downloaded everything I wanted to the download folder. I'm gonna open up simply my console, and I'm gonna just write SHA256 sum for the hash check and download. Probably I download it to the download, and it's called VirtualBox maybe. No, VirtualBox, yes. So this is the hash I'm looking for. I just copy it back over here, and as you can see it is the exact same hash, no differences. If it was a longer or more complicated hash, I would use something else than my eyes, like a fast Python code or something. But I can see that it's the same MD5 sum for the same file. So what I can do is actually just restart this command, delete MD5 sum. I added one M too much. Here you go. This is the MD5 hash for this file. I also compared it to the MD5 hash I just copied from the website, and as you can see it's pretty much the same, no differences. So it's an original, correct, unaltered VirtualBox file that I just downloaded. So now I don't use dpkg to simply install VirtualBox, because after I have to install one by one, search for and install one by one the dependencies. I simply use apt, like usual, to install after all the apt updates and apt upgrades. So at the beginning, if you want, you can run an apt update minus yes, so everything is going to be installed without questions, and you can run an apt full upgrade. It's recommended always before you install anything, so normally it's gonna be okay. I already entered during a previous command my sudo password, so I'm just updating everything. It's gonna take a second. I find that, for instance, Fedora and Ubuntu repos are a lot faster to reach than these bookworm repos. Anyway, I might have to update my repository list, and then I just install simply the VirtualBox package. So it's apt install, and In this case, we cannot give just the file name, even if we were in the directory. We have to give the whole path name. So downloads and VirtualBox. And yes, of course. So it's gonna install everything with its dependencies. I have to do this maybe once every 3 to 4 months, even if there were no updates in case of VirtualBox, because it crashes quite often. Actually, it's a community updated package. It's something that, you know, the actual developers public is working on it. There is a giant bug hunting constantly, and VirtualBox is not something that is very constant. And you know, I can crash it basically every second day because I'm using it a lot. But you know, it's a lot faster tool than, for instance, you can see over here VMware Workstation. What is also great, it's very stable. But if you want to do snapshots, if you want to do, you know, backups, if you wanted to do, you know, a lot of VMs in the same time, it's a lot more, how would I say, resource gourmand, and it would need I think more resources. VirtualBox is so light, it's so fast, it's so easy to use, you don't get lost in the details. And you know, if I want to run, for instance, Kali Linux for some serious operations, calculating, you know, hashes and maybe running some password cracking for hours or even like half a day on end, I would definitely use a more stable Kali Linux on VMware. But for everything else, simulating, for instance, Windows networks with 1 or 2 Windows servers and 1 or 2 or 3 Windows machines, VirtualBox is a lot faster and a lot better. So now we can launch VirtualBox, and you know, you can see that it picked up my old virtual machines, not from the actual coded hard drive, but everything what is installed on my major hard drive, it picked it up. Then what I can do is open up extensions. I will uninstall this old extension. I need to enter my sudo password, and I reinstall actually VirtualBox extension. So I go to home again and download, again clicked on download. Then you can see the right part over here, VirtualBox extension pack. So in case of VirtualBox, I don't like to use older platform packages with older extension packs. I always use the latest. Sometimes it happened twice in the last, like, let's say 3 or 4 years. I had to revert back because the updates were a bit questionable and they were failing right away. But this time the 716 pack, it's working just fine. So accept and download VirtualBox extension pack. You can see it over here. So this one we launch from the actual VirtualBox itself install. So we go to downloads, extension pack, it found it right away. We open it, install it. I agree, I have to go right down, I agree. Again, it asks me for my sudo password. And everything is installed. So if you were running, for instance, a Windows machine, you have to reinstall this extension pack, especially if it was updated. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Windows machines, naturally they pick up right away the new extension pack. You might have to do a quick upgrade or reinstall something, but if you were running a Windows server, a Windows machine, you have to probably update it. So restart VirtualBox. Now my server is, for instance, over here. I just launched my Windows server, and you know, it picked up right away the same path for the extension pack like it was. simply because it's the same extension pack, and very often the old extension pack would be running with a newer version of VirtualBox. So you understand, every time a VirtualBox comes out, a new version, a new extension pack version as well comes out. It's very often happening when a new update for an operating system is out, for instance Debian 12.6, 12.7, 12. Soon the 13, Ubuntu, if there is a special update on Windows and there is an incompatibility that's popping up, there might be a new update for the VirtualBox and the extension pack as well. So often people forget updating the actual extension pack, and your VM is starting failing, especially if you are using the drag and drop or the shared folders or the bidirectional, this one over here, the copy-coller, the copy and paste, shared clipboards. Enable clipboard for file transfer, that's good as well. So look at this. If I went into the virtual machine, normally what you have to do to update your extension pack, you have to normally the best to uninstall. So you go over here, uninstall, check is fed, common include incomplete down damaged media contact. Okay, so what we do over here is install the guest editions CD, and normally I'm going to have now control panel and uninstall programs and featured, uninstall a program, Oracle VirtualBox guest editions. So what you do is simply uninstall this, uninstall and change. So yeah, it won't let me uninstall because I'm using it. And damaged media, contact the installer's author, and okay, so it won't let me uninstall it just like this. I have to simply upgrade it and reinstall it. So what I can do is go over here. As you've seen, I just inserted the guest editions CD image, and either I try to reinstall it using the VirtualBox editions exe, or if it's working, I can do an upgrade guest editions simply from over here from the menu, devices, upgrade guest editions. And normally you're gonna have, here you go, an installing image coming out from over. Yes, as you can see, everything is just went alright, perfectly fine. It says I need to restart my PC, and what I will do is simple shut down, sign out, restart. It's a bit more complicated with the Windows server, it's a slower machine, and it might be a bit more nuanced to restart that machine. But now everything is just going perfectly fine, and it's very simple. As you've seen, you download virtual machine, you install for instance the guest editions on it, and then you just install a virtual machine. And I'm gonna make a future video about that because it's also very simple. In certain cases, for instance Kali Linux, Ubuntu, and for instance Hiren's boot CD, some raw images, you don't even have to install anything. You just download the whole running operating system. It adapts to your PC while you are adding it into VirtualBox. And what you do is simply just run it. You don't install, you don't wait hours, nothing. And it's a perfect way to try out an operating system that you don't know yet, that you want to install maybe on your PC, or you have to practice on an operating system because your company might be migrating towards open source, they might be migrating towards Windows, they might be implementing Windows Server. So VirtualBox is one of the fastest, easiest, cheapest, free, open source, securest way to practice your skills. So this was the installation of VirtualBox. Thank you very much. See you soon.